time has come. The time has come. I would be remiss. I would be remiss in not explaining and expressing my deepest gratitude on behalf of IdeaGen, personally and professionally, to one of the greatest human beings that I've come across, a dear friend and mentor. And what can you say about David Wicks? David, come on up, please. David is vice president here at the Nasdaq. You've seen him over the years. You're in the most iconic photos at the Nasdaq. And David, your support of IdeaGen will never be forgotten. Let me just make that clear. I wanted to throw that out there before this interview because, and David recently got married. Let's give him a big hand here. He's got a beautiful wife, Stephanie, and I want a heartfelt congratulations to you and Stephanie for a life of bliss forever.
Thank you.
I'd also like to, and would be remiss, if I didn't say the same things for Elana Finn. Elana, come on up, please. Elana is events marketing specialist here at the Nasdaq and is a believer in IdeaGen like most of you. I mean, it's incredible. And I love the fact that you all appreciate everything that we're doing. We bring cross-sector folks together, talking about leadership in this case today with a lot of Nasdaq-listed companies like Microsoft. Brian Galassi here today. Let's give him a hand. Yay. I know you guys like to see listed companies. And so I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you all today.
Thank you, George.
And to be able to truly say thank you.
Thank you.
Before we launch into our interview.
You're welcome.
Here we go, please.
Yay.
And so with that, I know we got all emotional, and we begin with the gratitude. I mean, how can you express gratitude to two incredible human beings that believe in what you do? And it's really hard to articulate it, and I won't get emotional about it here. But Nasdaq's a global leader in financial markets. David, how would you describe the Nasdaq and its mission?
Yeah, so our mission is really to be the trusted fabric of the world's financial system. So it's pretty ambitious. And I would say, how do we go about doing that? So currently we operate over 130 exchange technology around the world. And if I just even pause there and take that in, from Asia to China to South America to Mexico, people rely on our technology to bring investors in to provide liquid markets and capital formation. On top of that, we have a state-of-the-art trading system called Smarts that surveils those markets. In 2021, we acquired a company called Verafin, which is involved in helping protect fraud and AML for financial institutions. And then in 2023, we acquired two companies, Axiom and Calypso. Calypso is more on the kind of cash management, treasury risk management. Axiom is more, again, for financial institutions in understanding their regulatory reporting obligations across different requirements around the globe. So I think when you look at all of those together, it creates this trust in when you see NASDAQ, when you hear NASDAQ, there's a level of integrity that comes with that.
And I think Brian would agree with Microsoft here as a listed company. One of your first.
100%. And the support you do for employee resource groups.
Yes, absolutely. And we love hosting.
Yeah, thank you.
And so I'd like to ask Elana now, so you're events marketing specialist. Look at today. I mean, extraordinary what you've done and what you do. Tell us a little bit about what your day looks like. What is that? I mean, you're constantly moving. It's such a critical role.
No day is the same. A lot of days here when we have events on site, we have a great connection between our clients and our hosts like David. And then I would say we also do a lot of our events offsite. So for those, the prep that goes into making sure that our clients feel heard and engaged on those offsite experiences. It's really the day-to-day.
Incredible. And I've seen it in action, and we're about to see it now with the closing bell
Yeah.
ceremony, so we could not be more thrilled. And Nasdaq has a history of issuer advocacy for its members. David, perhaps can you talk a little bit about your efforts here?
Yeah, so it really dates back to 2017, and when Adina became CEO, one of the first things she did was something called Project Revitalize. And what we saw was a trend in the markets where the number of public companies was going down, and the time that private companies were going public was taking longer and longer. So what we found is that job growth, job creation often happens when a company goes public and has that capital to expand and invest. So Project Revitalize was launched, and it was really a blueprint for the financial markets. So it dealt with ways to modernize things. And there were some, certainly some wins around the Jobs Act and reporting for smaller companies and around ISS and Glass Lewis. COVID happened, and like all good things, things got sidetracked. Last year, we announced kind of our next generation of that Revitalize, and we call it Project Elevate. And Project Elevate, again, is meant for how do we help bring down the regulatory burdens? How do we make it easier for private companies to go public? And how do we reduce the cost to be public?
Incredible.
So it's a whole, you can go online and look at it. If you just look at Nasdaq Project Elevate, you can see kind of some of the areas that we're working in.
And so just a quick follow-up to that, what are the trends you're seeing among these companies seeking to go public? What is that trend line looking like right now?
So I hosted a dinner last night, and I started by saying, on a good year, 140, 150 companies, Nasdaq would be like, oh, that's a good, healthy year for IPOs. When I asked the group, and it was, a group of about 16 people, I said, how many IPOs do you think Nasdaq had? So I'm not going to ask this group, but think in your mind how many we had. It ranged from 10 to 70. So maybe it's in the range that you all are thinking. We've had over 220 IPOs to date, which is great. So I think the trend is definitely where companies are accessing public markets. I think, they're navigating the kind of geopolitical, the tariff situation, and certainly policy decisions and things like that. But the market is definitely one where we're seeing technology, AI infrastructure, healthcare, and even financials where they're, tapping public markets, which is great.
That's great. That's incredible. Elana, events, they play such a critical role in the work you all are doing here. And it's about connecting investors and businesses, right? So how do these events and initiatives support the corporate growth and engagement in such a fast-moving global economy?
Yeah, absolutely. Like David mentioned, the dinner that he hosted last night was something that I had planned. So I think that really working very closely with our internal stakeholders to provide a platform that they can make those connections with, whether it's our listed companies or companies that are looking to go public. I think that there's great opportunities with our retention companies to sit down and to have a dinner and to be able to go over, explain those things and ask those questions. But we do also find a lot of great engagement from our offsite events and creating those really unique and far beyond what the standard corporate event would be. And I think that those moments resonate and create more of an authentic connection.
Got it. And they're so powerful.
And I'll give you a perfect example. We held a Climate Week event this week, and one of our CEOs reached out to me and said, oh my gosh, I know you guys are having this Climate Week, can I go? And that sense of community and finding the purpose that drives that CEO to want to be here knows we're doing something right.
Exactly, 100%. And so we're here talking about global leadership today. And so I'd like to ask both of you, what you see all these global leaders, these companies, they're launching. It took leadership to get there. My gosh, everything it took until they're listed is a journey, as you all know. what are those? What are the key elements of leadership that you would say, the thread that you've seen that's been visible to you in that journey and necessary?
So I would say first and foremost, it's, I look at the companies that were with us last night. It is true grit sometimes just to get through that life cycle, right? So Nasdaq just doesn't say like, oh, we want to hug Microsoft now that you're a public company. We want to be part of that life cycle when a company is private, assist them with growing best practices, growing their board, growing that infrastructure they need for that day when they become public, and then help them on that journey. So I think it's a relentless focus that when these companies wake up every day, they are working to build something great. And you look back when Microsoft listed, from where you were then to today, we're in awe, right? And just a wonderful partnership and wonderful story.
What a story. What an incredible story. And I know, again, I've seen you in a lot of the photos. Haven't changed at all, David. And what a journey. And so what is your call to action for global leadership? And for those, let's make it specific about Nasdaq. What is your call to action for those looking to list on the Nasdaq potentially?
So I would say, if you are looking to list, if you are thinking about tapping the public markets, it's so important to start before the journey doesn't start at the IPO. The journey starts years before. So the call to action would be engage, let us share, let us help, let us, get you in a position where on that day one, it's a wonderful experience.
Incredible. Incredible. And Elana, you have the last word here. What is your call to action for those looking to join the Nasdaq, to host events here, to do all the above?
I would say for those looking to join and list on Nasdaq, like David mentioned, to engage. We have so many great opportunities to connect with private companies, both here at MarketSite and at our offsite events. I think that private companies typically see so many invitations coming in, and while they're prepping on their own, it's hard to find that time, but to make that time, make those connections and really learn from all of the great resources that we have here, whether that's David or Jay Heller, our head of capital markets. I watch, so many private companies in awe of all of the knowledge that he has to share. So I think first, for those looking to list on Nasdaq, engage with us beforehand. And for those looking to host events here, contact us. Contact us. We're happy to chat. And I think that, having events here, we're in the heart of Times Square. It's the crossroads of capitalism. And it's a great spot to provide visibility, especially on our 7-story tower.
You could not have said it better. I love it. Well, thank you both so very much.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you,
thank you,
George.
George. Thank you for your